welcome to today's video. And in today's video, I'll be doing a 2024 election prediction between Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, and Kevin McCarthy, the House Minority Leader. This is highly unlikely. This is almost certainly not going to happen. But just them being, where they are in terms of, their roles in the House, being essentially their party's leaders in the House, I decided to do a prediction between these two. Once again, Pelosi's almost certainly not going to run. I say once again, Pelosi's almost certainly not going to run. McCarthy, it's kind of hard to tell whether or not he's going to run. There's a decent chance that he will. Also a decent chance that he won't. Oops, I hit Indiana twice right there, I guess. For Pelosi's likely states, Colorado, New Mexico, Illinois, Virginia, Delaware, Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maine's first. And by the way, New Mexico and Virginia are going to be like very lowly, or very low likely, or maybe high lean. Colorado, she's really bad for the Hispanic Latino vote. McCarthy is not exactly a great rural candidate. Pelosi's so weak that A, McCarthy is already going to be strong enough with the rural vote, and B, there's going to be enough anti-Pelosi turnout. In New Mexico, she's also really bad with oil workers. It was like a few points more, or a few points farther to the right in 2020 than Colorado. It, once again, could be high, or a high lean, or a low likely. Illinois, Pelosi's going to do really horrible with the black vote. She's going to do horrendously in Chicago, won't turn out enough voters, and it's going to slip it down to a likely. Virginia, she's going to do really bad with the rural vote, do really bad with the black vote, do really bad in, or not, I don't think she's going to do really bad in the DC suburbs. I think that she's better for, rich suburbanites, but generally speaking, McCarthy's probably going to do better than her in the suburbs. Delaware, she's just too bad, for the white vote. It was likely in 2016. I don't know if she'd actually be able to carry it by a safe margin. New Jersey, fairly similar thing, was likely in 2016. I think McCarthy being strong enough in the suburbs. Connecticut, Rhode Island, McCarthy is too strong for white rural college-educated voters against someone like Pelosi, who's just so weak for white, rural voters in general. Maine's first, I mean, it was likely in 2016. McCarthy's going to do well enough with the white rural college-educated vote. For McCarthy's likely states, but the Kansas is safe. He gets Iowa, Ohio, South Carolina, Texas, Alaska, and Maine second. So in Iowa, McCarthy's going to do well enough with the rural vote. Pelosi is just going to be such a turnoff for rural voters. In whatever small urban areas Iowa might have, like Des Moines or, oh gosh, why am I blanking on urban or cities in Iowa? Why am I only thinking of Des Moines? I feel like there's a city that's like names on to my tongue. I guess I'm just, not knowing this. Okay, that's kind of stupid. But, while I'm trying to name cities in Iowa, it's still mostly rural voters. I don't see, even if there were, or even if it were to have a sizable population, of voters in urban areas, I still think she'd do poorly. And she's so bad for the white rural vote that she would lose it. Ohio, honestly, it might just be even worse for her, considering how large of a margin of victory it was, even with, a lot of these urban areas, a lot of these, bigger cities, a lot of, black voters in a lot of these areas, which are like the heaviest voting bloc, that they vote like the heaviest to the left, or they're split the heaviest to the left, in the sense that it's like a 90, or I guess a 9 to 1, 90-10 split, and considering that, and it was still such a large margin, with Pelosi virtually having no appeal to black voters, it's going to be it honestly could be worse than Iowa, for Pelosi. She could lose it by a larger margin. Main second, it's a fairly similar thing. I just don't, no, it's a fairly similar thing. I don't see her having the populist appeal to white rural voters, and McCarthy would. Or honestly, she just doesn't have enough to the point where even though McCarthy might not have a lot, she just has such horrible appeal, to those voters. In South Carolina, McCarthy is going to be able to do well enough for the rural vote, and especially against someone like Pelosi, who's awful for rural voters, but Pelosi is just so awful for the black vote. This could honestly be safe. Texas, she's going to do horrendously with the rural vote. She's going to get obliterated with the rural voters. She's not going to do very well in the suburbs, and she's going to do really bad for the Hispanic Latino vote. Alaska, honestly, we might just see Hispanic Latino voters not turn out very heavily in the state. In Alaska, like it's gonna shift to the left with more Native American voters turning out. And McCarthy isn't amazing with oil workers. I could see it being safe just because oil workers hating Pelosi enough to the point where it shifts up to being safe. But for now, I'm gonna give it to her likely or to McCarthy likely. For Pelosi's lean states, she gets Minnesota, Nebraska second, and Maine at large. Nebraska second. She's going to do worse in the suburbs. McCarthy, I think, has more suburban appeal against someone like Pelosi. Um, but she's still going to carry it, probably like a low lean. Minnesota, she's going to do really bad in Minneapolis, not turn out many voters, do really bad with the rural vote, and do horrendously with the working class. In Maine at large, she's just going to do really bad with the white rural college educated vote. And it'll probably shift it to being like R or D plus 1, D plus 2, D plus 3 ish. Probably not D plus 1, probably more like D plus 2 or D plus 3. For McCarthy's lean states, he gets Arizona, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Florida, which could actually be a high lean, and North Carolina. In Arizona, he's going to do well enough in the traditionally conservative suburbs, especially against someone like Pelosi, who's going to do so, who's going to just do so horribly with traditional conservatives, and someone like McCarthy, who actually has appealed to traditional conservatives. He is fairly Trumpist, but against someone like Pelosi, I don't know that it'll matter. Wisconsin, McCarthy's going to do well enough in the suburbs, and Pelosi's going to get obliterated with the rural vote, get obliterated with the working class, and she's going to do so poorly with the black vote that it could honestly end up being likely. In Pennsylvania, McCarthy's going to do well enough, or I guess Pelosi rather, would do poorly enough with the rural vote, poorly enough in the suburbs, poorly enough with the working class, and do poorly enough with the black vote to the point where it's lean. Probably not almost likely, but still probably like R plus 3. North Carolina, Pelosi is going to do really bad with the rural vote, do really bad with the black vote, not do very well in the suburbs, not do very well with the working class. Florida, they're both so bad for the Hispanic and Latino vote, that it's probably going to become irrelevant, and it's going to be mostly suburban voters and older white voters, both of which McCarthy will probably do better with against someone like Pelosi. Probably bringing it up to a R plus 4 ish margin of victory, probably be close to being likely. For Pelosi's tilt states, she gets Nevada and New Hampshire, whereas McCarthy gets Michigan and Georgia. In Nevada, Pelosi's going to do really poorly with the Hispanic Latino vote, and she's going to do really poorly in the suburbs. I think McCarthy do really poorly with the rural vote. I think McCarthy just doing just poorly enough with the rural vote, even with someone like Pelosi, that it's still, honestly though, it could easily be till R. It's well within the realm of possibility. It's like a 52-48 split in terms of the chance that it goes Democrat or Republican. In New Hampshire, Pelosi, once again, it's fairly similar. I just hit my mic, or I just like brush my finger up against my mic or something like that. Pelosi's going to do really poorly with the rural vote, with the white rural college educated vote, and honestly, it could easily go to McCarthy till it's another state very similar to Nevada. And then Georgia, Pelosi's going to do so poorly with the black vote, and McCarthy's going to do well enough with the rural vote and do well enough with the white suburban vote. I mean, like not like I guess the suburbs are diversifying, which is gonna not necessarily make white rural or white suburbanites have as large of a share, or white voters, I guess, have as large of a share of the electorate in the suburbs. But McCarthy's going to do well enough with what white suburban voters there are, turning out, and especially in someone like Pelosi, you can't turn out virtually any voters actually at this point. They're probably going to make up a larger share of the electorate in the suburbs. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below. Stay tuned for my next video tomorrow. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please comment your suggestions down below. I will see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow is the first day of the MLS transfer window, if anybody cares, which I'm assuming almost all of you don't. But yeah, Atlanta just got some guy from Montreal. So yeah, that was very random. Anyways, I hope to see you all tomorrow. And yeah, bye.